Good morning, dobre otre, bona dimineața, bore da. Welcome back to the next 5 weeks. Hope you had a really good spring activities week and a break. And I have seen some of the work from things like Earth Day that we did last week, and they're remarkable. So here we are, the sun is shining. It's May. Can you believe it's the 1st of May on Friday? And we've got, as we say, 5 more weeks to go to the 31st of May. Now, I am always an optimist, but I would doubt very much at this point whether we're going to have a wonderful lifting of every restriction and we can all get back into school and physically see one another. So in terms of planning ahead, we've got the final week of the academic year, which we will, whatever happens, we will hold our wonderful international goodbye with all our nationalities being represented, and we'll make sure we do something special to finish off this quite extraordinary academic year, the 3rd year of our school's life. I want to say just a few thank yous this morning. First of all, if you had a chance to see the wonderful video produced by 5B and Miss Margot, it's a wonderful look at lockdown life. It's really clever. I'm struggling now to whether to grow this mullet, which is a haircut from the 1980s for the younger viewers. And everybody, I think, I read an article when they eased some of the restrictions in Denmark last week. People rushed out to the hairdressers and the barber shops immediately. So there we go. Lockdown Tales is going to keep us going. I also want to say thank you to Mrs. Anna and the lovely, wonderful 4A. Just before the break, there's the most wonderful lesson, and they're baking bread, and it was so interactive and practical and creative. I just want to say, mulțumesc for a minunat, okay, from us. I also want to talk about assemblies. Mrs. Vlada and the amazing 3B. Horosho, you did a great job there with that assembly. Really just, the quality keeps getting better and better. This Friday for primary, it will be Mrs. Elena and 1E. My assembly this week, guys, I'm really sorry, it's under Magnus Opus. I've gone on for 37 minutes, and you can tell I'm not talking to many people at the moment, apart from FaceTiming home and my wife and my children. But I've taken the theme this week about what we would do with our precious life, especially in our lockdown, and these things now are so every day, aren't they? They really are. I've become very good friends with the delivery guy from Andy's Pizza. He's called Andre. I don't know if he's the actual Andy behind Andy's Pizza. I still suspect Mr. Gogo has got something to do with this. Gymnasium students, you were sent a link by Mrs. Linda to get access to one of the best kind of publications on global events and economics and life called the Financial Times. You can get access to this free. They've got rid of the paywall. I would take advantage of this. Things like the TED Talks for teens or TED Talks for kids. You've seen lots of these, the Future Learn courses. There was a lovely one on hobbies I sent out in the last International Heritage Herald for you to have a look at. Start thinking about these things as well. Here in school, we've continued the plannings for next academic year. We have an amazing summer school in the pipeline, which we're going to be launching fairly soon. So you can see what's going to happen here in the summer. Should you be interested in joining the summer school, I hope you do. We are hoping that it's going to be a physical summer school, but if it's not, we will also look at an online distance learning summer school. I know you might never want to look at your screens again for at least a month, but this will be some around the format of the themes that we've done for things like Activities Week, and we'll release more details when we get them. But we want to make sure that when school finishes on the 31st of May, especially if we can't travel anywhere, that these things are available to you and your families. Also, there are some wonderful conversations at the moment. Mrs. Rosie planning the Lyceum for September, and again, this is really important for our grade 9s going into grade 10 to look at their career options, linking that to university, that wonderful pathway of A-levels. 30% of international schools around the globe take the Cambridge International curriculum, and we're very proud to offer that as well here. and be a Cambridge International School. So those details will be coming to you very shortly. Grade 8, there will be information evenings about your option, your IGCSE choices. This is really important, and this is where we need to kind of raise the game a little bit, and making sure you are choosing the right courses, because we need to ensure that you are sticking to those courses and they're the right career option paths for you. So all that in the pipeline as well. Student Council, Primary Student Council. I know Mrs. Linda's been looking after you for a couple of weeks, but I've had meetings and interviews of teachers for next year and things. But I want to say how impressed I am. First of all, the Primary Student Council, wonderful video you produced. Gymnasium Student Council, Georgia, Andre, Jess, Talisha, all of you. If I miss names out, Laura Donna, Andrea, all of you. If I've missed names, I apologise. But you are doing a great job. I love your Instagram account. I love the challenges you're putting out for students. If you haven't seen this, have a look. Your Student Council are demonstrating amazing student leadership right now and making some nice activities for the whole school. So again, mulțumesc, spasiba. Really, really pleased what you're doing. I think I've just about gone through all my briefing notes here, so we're done. So just before I finish, couple of things I'm reading at the moment. Bill Bryson, a wonderful American author, writes about the mundane, science, where words come from. He basically has become a Brit. He lives in the UK. I think he was Chancellor of the University of Durham, wonderful university in the north of England. Bill Bryson's books are incredible. I picked up notes from The Small Island again, and I love his look on Britain and British life. And I think sometimes it takes somebody who hasn't lived in the country, comes from the country, who then lives in the country, to write a book which is so analytical, funny. So I'm really enjoying Bill Bryson. Again, I loved his Walk in the Woods. If you can find the film with Robert Redford playing Bill Bryson, he walks the Appalachian Trail on the sort of eastern side of the States and these beautiful mountains. It's a wonderful book, it really is. And it, again, talk about things that are precious to us and nature, and we had Earth Day and making sure that we value our planet and our environment. So another one which is a bit harrowing from a historian's point of view, Orlando Figg's book came out a few years back, The Whisperers. We were planning to look with our IGCSE history students a visit to the Museum of the Occupation, to look at the deportations from Moldova during Stalin times. And The Whisperers is a very powerful book looking at the individual stories. And as we know, history is often the great kings and queens or the great leaders, and often the ordinary people, their tales aren't told. It's one of the reasons why things like your journals and your diaries and your thoughts about this time are important. Imagine showing your grandchildren what we lived through during this era. Well, in The Whisperers, he looks at the private lives of people, how they lived in the 1930s, the 1940s, under the sort of Soviet period, under the Stalinistic oppression, and it's powerful. This is really powerful history. So it was lovely to actually sit, and what I like about the lockdown is having that time, okay, to spend on deeper things, and actually the sort of the shallow level of where we sometimes read an article or read a book, or we're clickbaiting all over our screens on different things. Sitting down and actually getting back to this is a good thing. So as ever, guys, have a good week. As I said, Friday, we enter the month of May, can you believe? Okay, as ever, hope, speranza, nadiezhda, mulțumesc, spasiba, borodar, dziękuję, and thank you. You're doing a great job. We are going to get ourselves together as a community all through this, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. You guys are heritage. You guys rock. Take care.